So hey guys, you just heard a part of the Avengers theme song, and that is because for today's movie review, I'm going to be reviewing the new Captain America 3 Civil War. I apologize if this review is way later than planned. Just work and life and all that stuff's gotten in the way. Now I can finally review it for you today on this YouTube video. So in Captain America 3 Civil War, guys, this is the third installment in the Captain America franchise, and this takes place shortly after Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, just to put it where the timeline is for the Avengers and Marvel and all the other stuff. This is also the start of Phase 3, so this is kind of the film that starts off Phase 3 to move it forward and get us started with that one. So in this film, you guys, it's about Captain America and his team of Avengers who are with him in this first act of the movie, and they run into a situation that puts a lot of people's lives at risk. The way that they resolved the situation with the character Crossbones. This is a non-spoiler review. I'm just telling you in context, who they were fighting in this opening scene to kind of set things up. And Crossbones was in the Winter Soldier for those who forgot who he is. So they're fighting him, and the resolution that they used to basically get rid of him ended up more deadly than they planned. And as a result, the United Nations get together and they figure out, or at least they try to figure out, should superheroes have limitations? Should their powers be reserved for only the urgent emergency situations that Earth runs into? So, like, if it's a situation like the Chitauri in Avengers 1 or Ultron like in Avengers 2, is that really when we only need them? And for all the other stuff, so the police just take care of it, and they just kind of back out of the way until the police take care of what they can do for the situations. So this movie is about that moral question of should heroes have limitations, and if they do, how should that be handled? What's too much? What's too little? What's putting too many people at risks? What's not keeping enough people safe. So this movie asks all those questions, and as a result, Captain America and Iron Man eventually start their own civil war with each other to figure out what side they should take with the United Nations on this situation. So overall, guys, I really like this movie a lot. I am going to say this just because I feel like people are hating on a really good movie just to like this one better and to get more people to see this one. I think The Winter Soldier, for at least for me, was a better Captain America movie. I think that works better for Captain America, and I thought it worked better as a film than this one did. But don't get me wrong, I thought this film was excellent. A lot of things that they did with this was really good. I just feel people are hating on The Winter Soldier now just to get people to like this one. I feel like that's kind of what's going on with it. I think it's a great movie. I think they definitely incorporate a lot of really good things into it. I think The Winter Soldier is a better movie, though. So for my positives and negatives of this movie, I thought the characters were well handled and the development of the characters were very good. You really care about them. You really care about Iron Man and Captain America getting their way, and about all these other characters getting their way. Black Widow's kind of stuck in the middle of this. She's definitely on Team Iron Man, but she definitely wants to favor Captain America at times too. There's characters who are kind of lost as far as what side are they really on this, and that was really well handled. I thought you could really tell why certain characters feel the way they do, and it just felt like good writing. It felt like they definitely took a lot of time figuring out how the characters would feel on such a subject matter like this one. There's also incredible action scenes here. This is no problem at all, just because the Russo brothers did such a great job with the scenes in Captain America 2 that involved action as well. So the action scenes I thought were really well handled. They were really well choreographed. So the Russo brothers, once again, just like what they did in Captain America 2, did a great job with the action scenes in this movie. One thing that this film did, just because I wasn't a huge fan of this movie, I know a lot of people liked it a lot. I wasn't a humongous fan of it, but I thought it was tolerable, was Ant-Man. I thought that Captain America 3 did is it made Ant-Man more likable. It got me more invested into that character. So they definitely made him more fun and more funny. So I liked how this film, when they made moments to shine for that character, they really made him more likable and more funny. So if we do see Ant-Man again, whether it be Avengers 3 and Avengers 4 or Infinity Wars or whatever they're going to call it, I think they did a better job with making him more likable and more fun. So hopefully that will continue in future Marvel films as well. I like how the film really does try to answer that question of should heroes have limitations. It really does ask both sides of the question, whether you're on Team Iron Man or Team Captain America, of how should this situation be handled. I do like how the question about limitations was handled very well, and it really does favor both sides of the equation to really come to its own resolution as to how should heroes handle this. I also liked all the interesting new heroes in this film. They have, Black Panther, and a couple of other new ones along the way. All interesting new heroes. One that I won't spoil at all, just because if you haven't seen the trailers, you might not know that there's certain characters in this movie. But they definitely introduce us to new heroes that I'm really looking forward to in their future films. Like I know Ryan Coogler from Creed is working on the Black Panther movie, so hopefully that'll be interesting. So new heroes, they were great. They did a good job with that in this new movie. I also thought Captain America 3 had a good storyline to it. They really did focus on the story in this one. There was definitely a lot of scenes where they definitely weren't too worried about showing too many action scenes, because they really had a good story going here and really making sure that that went forward all the way through as they could. They really had a good story to tell here, and I think that's just the best way to put it. Is they had a good story, and they definitely worked off of that good story very well. And also, this film shows the ups and downsides of being a superhero. It does show how characters like Iron Man, they get blamed for someone getting killed, that when they were knocking over a building to defeat a villain or something. It shows how um, they really feel bad about that when they find out what they've done. Or like Captain America, they feel good when someone credits them for something. It really does show, um, you know, getting complimented by people and getting good comments and bad comments, and people being responsible for a certain action that they've done. So not only about being a hero, just your own actions, just about being proud or disappointed from your own actions. This movie represents that really well, and it definitely represents that in the superhero form very well, of the ups and downsides of being a superhero. So I thought Marvel did a great job with that in this movie. For my negatives of Captain America 3, because like I said, I did think Winter Soldier was a better film. I thought Hawkeye's entrance into the film was pretty weak. I felt like he was just in there just to be a part of Team Captain America. They just need another superhero to be on the team, really. Um, I thought the way they got him back into the story really was kind of a middle finger to the Age of Ultron movie. It really kind of ruined the point of what they did with him in that movie, and his purpose in that movie. So how he entered this movie, I thought was pretty weak overall. Also, the character of Crossbones, it felt like a pretty weak use of him as well. I thought they did such a great job with him in The Winter Soldier, making him feel threatening and a physical challenge for Captain America. This film, I thought they just used him just because they needed some villain off to fight off in the opening scene to set everything else up for the rest of the movie. So pretty weak use of Crossbones. I felt like they didn't exactly need to use him specifically. Um, I felt like they just used him just because they felt like they could after the events of Winter Soldier, and that was about it. So pretty weak use of that character overall. There's also an annoying use of big subtitle logo things whenever they go to a new location in the movie. I think it would have been perfectly fine, because I'm pretty sure they did this in Winter Soldier and a couple of other Marvel films. Just labeling, let's see if I can even do this here on my own screen, just labeling the title of the place they're at right down here on the screen. Most people can read that. It's fine with me with most movies. They don't need to make a big title right here, like, oh, now we're here, now we're here, now we're here on the entire screen. It felt like a very annoying way to do that. And there's even some points in the movie where it's over a white building or a white area, so that title isn't as clear to read, kind of defeating the purpose of why they did that. So I thought the way they handled those subtitles was really annoying. Whoever edited that or put that in there should have done a better job with that, I thought. I also thought there really was nothing at stake here. I knew all these heroes were going to survive the whole movie. It's no surprise, because we're getting Avengers 3, we're getting Avengers 4, we're getting future Phase 3 Marvel films. So they clearly can't kill anybody off too early quite yet. I felt like that was just kind of we need all these characters to be in a future movie, so we can't really kill anybody, kind of thing. So as a result, the film doesn't really feel like there's much at stake. There's just not enough, because in Age of Ultron and Winter Soldier and Avengers 1 even, those characters are at stake. They're putting their lives at risk just to get a situation resolved. And in this film, I really feel like nobody's at stake. They're just kind of playful fighting. And then once a resolution eventually comes about, then the movie will be done with, kind of thing. So overall, I felt like there could have been more at stake, and there just wasn't. I also thought the espionage elements that were used in Captain America 2 were much stronger in that movie than they were in here. They're here, they're good when they happen, but I felt like there could have been more of it, and I felt like that's something from the Winter Soldier that I would have liked to have seen more of in this movie because Winter Soldier did such a good job with that, and they unfortunately didn't continue that as much in Civil War. So overall, I thought Captain America 3 Civil War was a perfectly fine movie. I give it a 9 out of 10. So I think it's definitely worth seeing. I definitely think it's worth owning probably down the road. But at the same time though, I think we have seen better Marvel films than this one. You know, Avengers 1, Winter Soldier, obviously the first Iron Man, that's a classic. I guess to go quickly over my positives and negatives again, great use of character development. The incredible action scenes were always really good. They did a better job with handling Ant-Man this time than in his own movie. The question on heroes having limitations was well handled. The interesting new heroes were fun. It had a good story. Showed the ups and downsides of being a hero. For the negatives again, Hawkeye's film entrance felt pretty weak. The weak use of crossbones, the annoying big title, location subtitles were really annoying after a while. Not enough was at stake, and I thought the overall espionage elements were done better in The Winter Soldier. So 9 out of 10 for me. I think it's still a very good film. I think it's worth your money. I still think it's definitely worth seeing. But like I said, don't expect the greatest Marvel film ever made, like some people are calling it, because I really didn't think it was that good. But I thought it was really good and it's worth your money. So please see Captain America 3 if you haven't seen it yet.